Hey, good morning, everybody, and
Gotta
welcome
drink this
to
crap
Wednesday
this morning.
TRS Live here. Got Brian over there, and our special guest. We kind of talked about it a little bit last night on our Facebook page. We got Cody. Cody is rocking it today. How you liking that mic?
Oh,
It's adjustable, man. Be comfortable.
Yeah,
This is nice.
just
I mean,
play
Just
around.
own it.
I
Hey,
feel like I was gonna kind of like break it off the table, so I didn't want to.
this is the least professional environment podcast
Yeah.
you'll probably ever be on.
Yep.
That's
Right?
That's
What'd you
good to
say?
know.
Yeah, so I was kind of giving Cody the rundown of like how everything evolved.
Okay.
And it evolved with a podcast,
Yeah,
this
for
TRS
sure.
Live podcast.
So we used to be like, did you come in the side door over here?
I showed him
Oh,
everything.
okay, cool. Like that conference room used to be where all this craziness started.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
what he was
literally
saying.
sat there, and Matt and I would just start shooting the shit about.
See, and that's
Whatever.
that's what I wanted to say. When we did the very first couple, we tried to be like real PG with things, and then we like our dare back and forth was who was going to be the first one to drop a swear bomb.
Oh,
And luckily for us, it was the owner, right?
Yeah.
It's his show.
yeah.
So now, like when we decided to bring it back this year, because things happen, right? Like COVID, busy with other stuff. Like we're like bringing it back, and we're like, okay, well, how much do we really have to be PG again? He's like, we really don't.
Not at all.
This is our show. We're gonna do what
No,
we want.
like you're in the social media world, right? Like
Yep.
you can't be fake.
No.
Because if the social media verse, if that's a thing, can figure out anything, they can smell BS a mile away.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Right?
I,
Like-
I do try to filter out my swear words.
Well, that's fine.
You know,
No,
I
but I mean,
edit
like
that
if
out.
you're like a crazy guy and you
Yeah,
want to drink
right.
15 5-hour energies a day and
Oh, yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, absolutely.
You just have to be like Matt. You just have to be. You just have to be yourself. Otherwise, that whole world will just it'll find it. It'll
Yep.
call it out.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
it will. When you think you're trying to protect yourself by being all nice or political or what PC or whatever, it comes back 100 times worse
Yeah.
than if you're just. Bleh.
Yep.
Yeah, and people don't like that. I mean, people really want to see your real personality when
100%.
you're on, when you're on film. So I try my best to do that. Obviously, there's some things that you got to filter out because it's YouTube and you don't know who's watching you.
You
but
don't. Well, and
What?
and the handcuffs of YouTube sometimes. I mean, especially because first, let's pause a minute and let's just kind of talk about Cody, right? So, tell us a little bit about like your background, some of that kind of cool stuff, and then we'll continue on our conversation.
Yeah, so I'm just a kid that grew up kind of editing videos. I mean, obviously, I kind of started at a young age. I didn't actually start with fishing videos. That's not kind of what I started with when I was little. I started out just filming like short films and stuff. And
Really?
I had a camera, went downstairs, bought an editing studio, and just kind of started editing stuff. And
Like, what age did you start?
I was probably like 11, 12 years old when I picked up a camera and just kind of started playing around with it. I mean, YouTube came out not too many years before that. So that was kind of, in my realm of things is that YouTube platform just released and all these people were posting videos and stuff. And I thought it was kind of neat. So I kind of just started dabbling in it in a little bit. And kind of as the years went by after high school, I kind of got into it again. I kind of forgot about it for a while because it wasn't per se like the cool thing to do.
Right.
So
Influencers aren't really a thing yet.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, people were just starting to get sponsored and stuff like that. And it was kind of becoming bigger. So after high school, I really picked up fishing a lot more. And I kind of just started taking a camera along with me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start doing what I used to do. I'm going to take this camera out, vlog it, whatever I catch. I'm going to film, edit it, and post it on YouTube. So I started doing that. And I mean, long story short, it turned into something that I never thought it would have.
Awesome.
I'm doing it full
Well,
time
congrats,
now.
man.
And
That's cool.
So
having a lot of fun.
Back in that day of 2012, I think is what you said. Like we talked about, there wasn't really influencers at that time, but was there something or somebody that you watched where you're like, yep, this is kind of the world I want to be in?
Yeah, there was a few people that I watched. Obviously, like I don't know if you've ever heard of the Guggen Squad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
But they
barely.
were
some of the products at the Real Shot were brought in because of Brian's son.
okay. Yeah. I mean, so they weren't like really a thing yet by then. But there was, like Peric and John B and those guys. Some of those guys were just starting to make content, and it was just on their own. So like none of them really were collaborating or working together yet. So watched some of those guys, and then I watched just some other influencers that were on there, just kind of starting to make their way through the platform and kind of almost like the pioneers, I would say, of the content that was on YouTube. So it just kind of started going in, getting bigger and turned into something eventually. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a journey.
Now, were you saying that's your full-time gig now?
It is my full-time gig. Now, I don't just do YouTube. I'm actually a marketing specialist for Tide We Outdoors, which is a hunting company.
Yep.
I do YouTube, and then I am guiding now on Green Bay, and I'm going to be guiding on Lake Michigan for salmon this year.
Nice. Oh, what port?
Manitowoc, Two Rivers, and Sheboygan probably mainly.
Okay.
I'm not running a charter boat. I'm actually running my walleye boat for that. So
okay. What are you running?
I actually just picked up a new Nitro ZV20 2022.
Nice. You'll like
Sitting
that.
in the garage right now since October, and the ice can't be gone soon enough. But I will say, like, after sturgeon spearing, the ice can be gone. Like,
Well, you're going to be in a lot better shape than a lot of guys, because a lot of guys aren't getting their boats till March, where you're already ready to go.
Oh yeah. I picked it up in October, and honestly, that was probably not such a great idea, because then you get to look at it sit in the garage all
Right,
day long.
torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have it rigged already, or is that something that you're playing around with in your spare time?
It is 100% rigged. I basically bought it rigged,
Well, that's
ready to
even
go.
worse.
So it's sometimes I just go in there and sit in it and listen to music and play around with the grass and stuff.
Guilty. I've totally done the same thing.
Just rigging up rods and stuff like that, pretending
I've
like
went
the
literally
season.
laid in the front of my boat and took a nap before.
Yeah,
No, you have not.
Oh, 100%.
just tell the girlfriend.
100%. Just because it's my happy place.
I'm gonna go enter waypoints for a little while.
Yeah, it's 100% I've done that.
Waypoints.
Yeah.
Like what? I need the background on that. You just literally, like, one day you were bored in the house. You're like, oh,
no, it's honestly, I just for myself. I haven't done it now for years, but like that was just the only spot I wanted to be, was sitting in my boat.
Yep.
And I couldn't be in the boat, in the water, fishing, whatever, and just at home. And I'm just like, just go out there, retie some lines, organize some tackle, just kind of chill. Because a lot of times you sit in between the consoles while you're doing this kind of stuff. And, your lower back gets sore or whatever. You just kind of lay back, and it's just like,
dude, I've been there.
This is just my place.
So I have a question. Do you ever, when you're done tying something, just walk up to the front of the boat with the rod and maybe just pitch it and like act like you're fishing?
Not in my garage. My garage was never big enough to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't do that either.
No, I will. I've got a little dog, my wife's little dog that likes to chase jigs.
Yep.
So I'll cut the hooks off, and then I'll pitch to like a can out in the driveway or whatever.
Yep.
And he'll just like chase it like crazy, which is, it's like playing fetch with him because he won't fetch. But
Yeah.
I mean, we've done that, but never just in the garage, I guess.
Barbless hooks, right?
Yeah.
I cut
the hooks
I
off.
just cut it off completely.
I'm
Once
guilty
he's
of
been
that.
a little-
Taking frogs, skipping them around my yard, just getting ready for the season. You're just bored, right? Or flipping jigs at trees and picking out.
Well,
like, the one thing for me is that I use that time, even though it's tough because you're not elevated, to work on offhand. Like, if you're a bass fisherman, right? Like,
build yourself a platform, Matt. You're a handy guy.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, when you're bored, my son.
What works really well to do that? Back of your truck.
Yep.
I used to jump in the back of the truck, drop the tailgate.
Yep.
Now you're up off the ground, and now you can.
But I use it because I work offhand stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally with my bait caster, I'm a lefty reeler. So it's normally this way, but then I'll grab, because you got to have those tough spots, or usually you got to try to get to them in the offhand,
Yep. I've seen you put a little coffee can out or something and try to
pitch into
pitch
that.
it in there. Yeah.
But the back of your truck works really well.
It does, because it's elevated.
As long as you don't have
enough.
a topper on it,
Yeah.
it works really well.
Yep. So, okay, so we kind of talked about those guys, and then like roughly how many videos are you in now on the YouTube thing, and what do you mostly focus on then?
I think on my channel, I'm not sure how many videos I actually have posted to this date. I think it's around like 150 or something.
Nice.
So it's not like a really big amount, and that's because I just there were a few times in there where I just felt like I didn't have time for it, so I kind of just stepped away. And as of last fall is when I was like, you know what, I'm taking this and I'm running with it because I have the time to do it, and people seem to like my content, and so I took it and I just started, trying to set goals of posting at least like 2 videos a week.
Yep.
And, since then I've been growing quite a bit. But as far as like other videos and stuff with people I've collaborated with, I mean, I'm on quite a few videos, I would say, on YouTube.
What's your YouTube page?
Just Cody S. I mean, it's really
Andy,
simple.
can you bring it up and just put it on main screen so people can kind of see when they're looking for a YouTube what they're going to look for?
Yeah.
So it's just Cody S on YouTube, right?
Yep, just Cody S. I mean, if you type that in on the search bar, a video is going to pop up at least, of me. I've been doing a lot of ice fishing lately, and those videos have been doing pretty well.
How's that game going this year?
Man, it has been tough. I mean, it starts out up in northern Wisconsin every year because that's the first place that actually has safe fishable ice. And then, you start getting into like mid-December, and we normally start to have safe ice around here to fish. And, and we got that really long cold snap that kind of locked a lot of areas up for me. And then, after that, it got warm, and now I think a lot of people are struggling to get out on the Lake Winnebago system. I mean, Green Bay, the Fox River's been a really big hit. Even some smaller local lakes, the landings are just falling apart, and people aren't able to get out there.
Well,
and
that
fish.
range is terrible.
Oh, it's bad. And you get any sort of runoff into these lakes too, and you're getting a lot of current under the ice, and that current just rips that ice apart.
I was talking Monday on the show that my son and I hit. There's Cody's page if you're kind of looking around. That we hit like 4 different lakes out in Washera County, and some of the shorelines were questionable, but I mean, it was only like a boot length, right? But now I just wonder with all the rain, and because we get usually like if a cell's coming through, it hits that Bago split. We get mostly the rain kind of where I live, and then the snow goes north, like was potentially going to happen. But I'm curious now after this weekend to see what all those.
Are we supposed to get a bunch of snow?
Yeah, and that's
4
my next
to
question.
10 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Andy, you're here.
Yeah,
I didn't know if this
Oh.
thing was working, but no,
Yeah,
I get it. I
it's
get
It's
it
only
now.
when Andy talks.
likes to fall asleep when he's at the
I
wheel
actually
over
pulled
there.
it out because
Yeah.
I didn't want it in there, and then all of a sudden I just heard him say 10 inches. So no, maybe I'll put it back in. Sorry, Andy.
You got to be careful what he's actually talking about.
Right,
though.
exactly.
Wait, maybe you're not talking about me on here, are you?
Well, if it's you in 10 inches, it's fine.
But so what do you guys think if we do get this 0 to 10 inches that they're talking in the ice conditions that we have? What do you think it's going to do?
Not be good.
Yeah, no, it's
Well, it's going to have that slush layer, right? Because everything's wet right now.
yeah.
You're going to get that slush layer that freezes or you bust through. That's just a disaster on the lakes. And then it puts all that insulation on, and then the lakes freeze slower. It's not good.
It's not looking good. And I was actually just talking to Kyle before we jumped on this podcast.
We're
and-
sorry about that.
I apologize.
Well, the
He's
topic.
he's just that guy that's around here. I can't get rid of him. I've tried really hard. He just keeps showing up.
That's funny
Have you ever
because
seen the movie The Office?
I've seen the show.
The movie or
Yeah.
the show?
No, the movie.
I haven't.
Do you mean Office Space?
Office
Space.
Space.
Office
Yeah, I was
Space.
going to say.
My bad. Apologies.
Specify.
Have you
I
seen
mean-
Office Space?
I don't think so.
You need
I mean,
to watch Office Space.
Stapler.
Because I keep moving a Kyle Stapler and he just keeps showing up
Oh,
to work.
okay.
He hasn't even been on the payroll for like 3 months.
Yeah, there's
I pull out
Lyle
my
on the
staple.
chat right now. It's a swing line.
It's funny though because he told me to make sure that you didn't make fun of me. So
Yeah.
Oh, no. We just make fun of Kyle.
It's like if we would live stream the Office, like our Office version, I
Probably
think
should.
it would have been shut down like after day 1.
Well, we could
minute
stream it on
1.
Fix.
I was gonna say you should just
We
make that a
should
show on
stream
Fix.
it on
We
Fix
totally
Live.
should.
Definitely make that.
There's some conversations
it's
that
bad.
happen. Like there's
I love you, Kyle.
at one point
Someday I'll start paying you again, maybe.
at one point we had like it was Brian's office, Lance's office, my cubicle, and Kyle was right behind me. And some of the conversations, like there was a lot of people that moved to the far other side of the office just because they were like, what in the hell is going on over here? I mean, I'm guilty. Usually it all starts with me,
It
but it
almost
doesn't.
always starts with Matt.
It doesn't end with me normally.
Matt is a 18-year-old trapped in a 40-year-old's body.
The instigator.
so true. I love it too. I love it.
And his wife would agree. She'd
Oh, yeah.
probably be on the
man.
front of that train.
We got to talk about Cody, but we got to go to sports tangent for a moment. So
boy.
last night we
Are
played.
you married or anything, Cody?
No, I have a girlfriend right
Okay,
now.
well, so we get on these little like home life tangents a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, this show's got almost nothing to do with the real shot, and almost nothing to do with
Except
selling anything.
they bring it to all our
exactly.
fans, but yeah. But anyways, so we were at our basketball game. A competitor of ours, like the local rivalry.
Who is
and
it? You can't say. Is it?
I can say it's Almond Bancroft, right? Like
okay, are you gonna start throwing stuff?
no, like so this is something we've talked about a lot. Like with the referees and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. As coaches, Brian and I both have coached sports,
Like a lot.
a lot. And so like as a coach, and you played sports in high school. We were talking about this.
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you play?
I ran track and played football.
Okay, I'll give you 50%.
So he
Yeah.
played
my best
blood
friend
sport.
ran track. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I see in my house too. Like I have trackies. My wife was a trackie. My oldest son's
Is that
track.
a thing, a trackie?
Oh yeah, that's what
I've
we
never
always
heard
call
that
them.
until today.
That's
We
the first
call
time
them
I
that
ever
all
heard
the
it.
time. Doing baseball. Oh, look at all the trackies.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
God.
that's new. That's new for
Yeah.
me
Yeah,
today
we
too.
just call look at all those guys running in circles.
Yeah.
Like, well, we had other words, but I'm not.
Well, I
gonna
thought
say
that was cross country.
that too.
Well,
Yeah.
cross country, I could play that game because like you running through woods and stuff like this. You guys are just running on a
Anyway,
asphalt
I've never heard of
surface.
trackie before.
Yeah, so that's what we call them. Anyway, so we're at this game, and my boy, it's a rough game, physical game. My boy got scratched, part of basketball. Okay, he was bleeding. But anyways, so he had blood on him, blood on his jersey.
Yep.
So the referees told him you had to change your jersey. Well, part of your uniform, you can't take your uniform off while you're in play, right? In football, if you take your helmet off
Yep.
before you step on the sidelines, it's a flag.
Yep.
So it's happened last night. My son had blood on his jersey, and like, let me get back in the game. Took his jersey off on the court, and the coach for this competition team for us right away, he looks at all the refs and he goes, "That's a technical. That's a technical. That's a technical." And my wife just freaking lost it. She just lost it, and she's like, "Sit down. That's so stupid." And then she said this: "If your boys wouldn't make him bleed, we wouldn't have this issue." And I just kind of wanted to be like,
Oh, Matt's like, I gotta
Wow.
go.
"It's the game, like,
Right. Yeah, I don't
you
think
get
it was
slapped,
done.
you
Like,
get."
it's not like they're out there with razor
Yeah,
blades, like
cutting them.
trying to make you bleed.
So he did. He got teed up.
But that's the rule, right?
It's the rule.
See, and this is where my wife would have done the exact same thing, and I'm just sitting here, I'm like, yeah, but he shouldn't have taken his damn
shouldn't
jersey
have-
off on the court.
Right, but in the
Like,
moment, like everything's
right.
high. Second half, we tried.
So what's the worst? What's the technical? The other team gets two
they
shots.
get
in the
some
ball?
free throws, yes,
They
but
get 2 shots in the ball, right?
yeah, but the thing is
move
majority of the fans didn't know that was actually a thing.
Oh, so they all started getting
So
on.
everybody was really
Were you
questioning.
in your gym?
No, we were in their
Oh,
gym,
okay.
and that's why and so like part of the conversation is, well, that was stupid. What?
Fire alarms are going
Oh yeah,
off.
we got to get the hell out of here. They're testing.
If anybody can hear it, they're testing
Yeah,
the HVAC
wow.
system.
But
We're
like,
good.
so
Fire.
he's like good on him. My wife's like, well, look, he was stupid for him to do that. I go, no, that's strategy. That's coaching.
Yes.
That's a good
100%.
coaching strategy, right? Like, well, it's stupid. I go,
Well, if it's
doesn't
stupid-
mean that it's not right.
Right. Well, and you can disagree with the rule all you want. Then get a group together, get a petition, take it to the WIA,
Yes.
get the rule changed.
Yep.
But if a rule's a rule, right?
Yep.
Because if it's reversed, you're going to want the same thing,
Right.
right? And you would hope. I mean, it sucks it was your kid, right?
Right.
Whatever. But you would hope that your coach would be smart enough in a big game to make that same call.
Well, and that's what our conversation led to afterwards. She's like, well, I just thought that was stupid on his part to make such a big deal out of it. I go, maybe our coaches should make bigger deals out of some of these
Right.
things instead of being quiet and
No,
reserved.
okay, so I had a similar situation when Jimmy played baseball years and years ago. So in baseball, if a player that isn't in the lineup can't go, it's an out,
Yep.
right? Well, we had 2 guys lunging. This is 14U. Okay,
yeah,
this is
so-
way before high school.
Yep.
2 kids, 2 of my outfielders ran into each other. The one kid broke his arm.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so I substituted whatever. Well, that next inning we were coming up.
He didn't make the lineup.
He wasn't going to be
change.
in the lineup or whatever. And
Are these coaches uncomfortable?
they need more cushion and they
Yeah.
need more back
I'm
support.
trying to decide that yet.
That's why I
it's
just
like
lean.
most of the time I end up like I'm all over the place.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
know. I just lean back. It is what it is. Eventually,
Put your feet up, dude. You just
Eventually,
chill.
our producer will get some extra pillows in here. Andy. Anyway, so we came up, and this was a team that like we played a lot against each other, and it was Campbell Sport. We played back and forth. Their coach is special. We never didn't really see eye to eye, but we had good games. But we never saw eye to eye. The coach and I.
Yep.
And he's like, "That's an out. That's an out." I said, "Are you really gonna play that when that kid just left in an ambulance?" And he was right.
Yep.
I get it, but I went as a coach. I was like trying to not have the out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well,
Like I know you're right, but I'm not going to accept it. I'm going to try to argue my point, and try
Correct.
to make you feel
what
bad.
do you want me to do about
Like
it?
you
Yeah.
really want me to? You really want to force that? Is that how you really want to win this game right
Yep.
now? Is by that one extra out because my kid just left in an ambulance?
Was it a close game?
Yeah, what? We ended up winning by 1, I think.
Okay.
Because he was like, whoa, this is bullshit. I'm like, well, hey, if you want to be that guy, you be that guy. I don't care. Now, I was doing the exact opposite of what he was doing
Yep.
because he was 100% right. Right? Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
100% right. That's an out.
Yep.
I knew he was right, but as the other coach, I'm like, all right, you can play this game, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make a huge spectacle. I started yelling at him from the whole. This was not loud. This was loud.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're really gonna do that? You're really gonna do this in a 14U game?
Right.
You know, whatever. That's how you want to win. You do you. I'm out." And I walked over. And he's like, "All right, let him substitute, whatever."
Nice.
But on the same, I wasn't against him for doing it. I
No.
would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But also, I had to outcoach him at that moment.
Yeah. If he would have got the out the way it is.
Right. But
That's
I'm just
the
saying,
rule.
like, that was the rule.
Yep.
But at that time, I had to outcoach him.
Yeah.
That's just, you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
just strategy. It's all goes back to strategy. Anyways, tangent over. It's
okay.
It was just one of those that we do this.
Yeah,
from time to time.
maybe I'll coach someday. I don't know. You know, like maybe a fishing league or something.
so are you, like, really competitive?
Yeah, I mean, over certain things.
What would be those things?
Like fishing tournaments, fishing spots. Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I guess with my buddies and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, like, it's like when you played sports, were you competitive? Like, is winning a thing?
I was.
Like,
I mean, it depends. Like football, I was pretty competitive, but it took something to just kind of like piss me off to get me competitive. As soon as I'm pissed, then yeah.
see, because what got me into coaching was my kids.
Yep.
Because I had no intentions of coaching ever.
Yep.
Until I sat back and watched some of these guys that Matt can attest to. And you sit back and you watch these guys coach your kids, and you're like, what? What are we doing here? What is that? You really expect me to show up 2 nights a week to practice and travel across the state to go to a tournament? That's the best we can put on the field?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I got to coach now.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of people that, you know.
And I don't knock, and you know, the thing is I don't knock it because I don't knock those guys for trying.
No.
Because somebody's got to step up and
Somebody's
do it. It's a
gotta
lot
do
of
it.
work.
Yep.
And I was just raised like, if you're going to have an issue with it, either shut up, put up or
Right.
shut up, right?
It's like somebody should be a server at some time to appreciate like bartending
Oh, yeah,
or
100%.
waitressing or waitering or any of that stuff. But you should have to do that. Somebody should be a coach because it makes you have more respect for everything that's happening on the court, on the field. You
I don't
you
go
become
up
a little
on
more reserved.
on pro coaches anymore. Like before I coached,
Yep.
oh my God, everything was the coach's fault. Everything was whatever, other than Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
Even
you
though-
showed you the other
Even
day.
though they won, but you know, whatever.
So are you
Okay,
rooting for the
fine.
Cowboys?
No,
No,
I
not
can't
at all,
stand-
huh?
I'm not a Cowboy fan, but I can't stand Mike McCarthy. I can't do it.
I'm glad we beat them.
I know, but I can't. I just can't. I can't do Mike
Mike
McCarthy.
McCarthy used this podcast as fuel to
He probably did.
beat up on Tampa the
I'm
other night.
probably the reason the Cowboys won for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
No, but like,
Anyways.
but
That
like
guy's
besides him, what was that?
that guy's competitive.
Mike
Mike
McCarthy.
McCarthy, yeah.
over
eating or
over
what?
what donut is available next after the game.
Anyway, no, but like I don't second guess coaches because what I've learned coaching and there's so many variables that you don't know about
Yeah.
when you're sitting in the stands or watching on TV.
Yep.
There's so many variables. This guy's sick. This guy's girlfriend just broke up with him. This whatever has not in the game. Whatever the case may be. This guy's tweaked. He can't run this.
barely
play.
eligible.
Barely eligible. Had this whole game plan. Got there Friday night. Isn't eligible.
Right.
Like,
Right.
oh my God. So I just don't second guess coaches anymore because
Or
again,
referees.
I
or-
know how many variables that I've dealt with. I can't imagine at certain pro levels and whatever.
Yeah.
Can't imagine.
Okay, so back to Cody. We got some. Hey guys, just joined. Been busy morning for me. So
Morning,
Bob's
Bob.
getting ready. Do you know Bob at all?
I've heard of him. I don't think I've ever met Bob.
He's a living legend.
Chip
Living
wants
legend.
to know if we
Hi,
got
Bob.
the TPS reports ready.
Yeah.
We have the TRS reports
We got
ready.
the TRS reports.
Come on, Chip.
Been
Oh,
busy.
Yeah, come
yeah,
on.
come
I know
on,
where
Roy.
you're going with that, but come on.
Okay, so
Like, work with me just a little bit.
You
I
had
don't
mentioned-
ask for a lot, just a little.
yeah, you had mentioned your competitive tournament wise in texting last night. You and I, you got some pretty big news. Is that something we could talk about at all?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I won an NTC bid last night.
Nice. Congrats,
the
man.
NTC in Marinette. So,
How'd you
did-
win it last night?
well, I was in a fishing club called No Bananas
Okay.
Fishing Outdoors, and basically what happens is the Walleye Federation will award some bids to the clubs, to the fishing clubs, and they awarded us 2, and they basically just drew some names out of a bucket, and lo and behold, I won something for once.
Wow,
nice.
My name got pulled out of that bucket, so
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna fish the NTC hopefully this June.
Where's that
1st
at
through
this
3rd.
year?
Marinette.
Oh, okay. That's not a
So-
bad place to fish.
No, it'll be a fun one for sure. I've always wanted to fish an NTC, but obviously you got to get an invite or a bid to fish it. So it'll be fun. It'll be neat. I don't fish like a ton of tournaments. I do some of the
yeah.
I do some of the local ones, and then just some bar tournaments and stuff like that every now and then with my dad. But I'm taking him with me to fish the NTC, and hopefully it goes well.
Oh, that'll be no matter what happens, that'll be awesome. You and your dad in the boat.
It'll be a good
lot of
experience
pressure to catch some fish.
Yep. Yeah.
So how many tournaments a year do you think you fish?
I'd probably say around maybe 6 to 7 tournaments. I with everything else I have going on and now guiding and stuff, I try to, just kind of steer clear of the tournaments for the most part. But I've always wanted to fish
definitely
more.
the exact opposite on the money flow of a guide.
Yeah, right, exactly. But it's good. I like to film them, and they seem to do, like, tournament videos seem to do well on.
I was
YouTube.
gonna ask, are you planning on filming these?
I'm gonna try. I always say I'm gonna, but when you're out there fishing, sometimes it's tough to run cameras and fish all at the same time. So sometimes it's just a little easier to fish and not have to worry about filming.
Yep.
And especially during a tournament, because every second counts.
Right, exactly.
Every second,
We've seen that. We saw that a lot over the last
yes,
few years.
Everything counts.
Yeah.
What about, so if you film those, do you just like GoPro them on kind of time lapse or whatever the heck it is?
Yeah, pretty much. I use those power sticks.
Yep.
I'll stick those in where your lights go, and I'll just run a GoPro pretty much the entire time.
Yep.
And then, if we catch a fish or something, I'll show it to the camera, and then I'll just kind of restart my footage, so I know where basically I caught a fish when I'm back in post editing it and stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty much just GoPros the entire time. I mean, I'll bring the big camera out in the beginning and then at the end, but other than that, it's just fish for tournaments.
Yep. So what is your number one species? Like, if you have the opportunity to go, what are you going for?
More than likely, walleye is going to be my number one. It's just my favorite fish to target. It always has been growing up. I think that's just because that's what my dad and grandpa kind of got me into. I went to Lake Erie at a pretty young age.
Yeah, that'll ruin you.
And that'll pretty much ruin you for life.
Yeah, that'll ruin you. Lake Erie will ruin you.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, growing up, that's pretty much all I fish for. And I fish for salmon too, obviously, which is why salmon's kind of probably a really close second there. And that's why I chose to guide for those this year.
What got you into the salmon side of it all?
Kind of the same thing. My dad, grandpa were into it. They took me out there at a young age, and I tell you what, there's nothing more exhilarating than watching the sun come up and hearing one of those rods just start screaming.
Yep.
That's one of the best sounds in the morning on June, July, August, whenever you're getting out there. It's one of the best sounds ever. And being able to feel the power right away in the morning just gets you jacked up. I mean, I love it.
Sometime when you're out there, you might have to watch out for the 42-foot tier. I mean,
we're in Sturgeon Bay though.
Oh, do you ever fish that area?
I don't get up to Sturgeon. I've actually never fished north of like Kewaunee.
Okay.
For salmon, at least.
What's your biggest salmon right now?
To date, it's like 25 pounds. I think it was right at 25 pounds right on the head. Yep. I actually got that fish mounted, and my channel's not up there anymore, but the video is posted that I caught that fish in.
Nice.
It was, I think, like 4 years ago now. Terrible videos.
Is it that one?
Nope, that one was from last year. You're going to have to go way back into the archives to find it. Click on videos, and then keep scrolling all the way down. It was a while ago, and I would say
look at Brian. It's like going back in time. Look at how young he's getting.
And it's funny too, because I look at the thumbnail and I remember filming every single one of these videos. But right there, 25-pound Lake Michigan salmon 4 years ago.
Nice.
That's the biggest salmon I've ever caught to date, and I actually got that fish mounted, put it on the wall, just because it was such a neat experience that day. But
that's not you, is it?
Yeah, that's young me right
baby
there.
Face.
Yep. Yeah. So that's one of the videos that I made 4 years ago.
Nice.
That's really good editing to start with.
To start with, right? But yeah, looking back on it, it's kind of almost cringy.
Really? So you go back and critique some of your stuff after it's out for a while?
I do. Yeah, I go back to these videos every now and then just to kind of look to see like, wow, that's what I started at, and now.
But nobody else thinks like that, because you got to remember, you're the hardest critic of yourself.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like everybody is, right?
Yeah, I mean, other people, obviously, this video's got like 24,000 views or something, so other people absolutely love this video, but when I watch it, I'm like, man, this kid's really cringy, but it was a really fun one. If you skip through it a little bit here, you probably go a little more. It took me forever to reel that fish in too, by the way. So like that's why this video is so long.
Oh.
How much line did it take out?
Oh, that was just one of my buddies that I took out that day. But yeah, right here I'm actually reeling in.
Do you remember how much line it took out at all, or?
I don't. This reel didn't have a line counter.
That. As I said that, I'm like, it doesn't have a line counter.
I mean, if I had to guess, it would have been probably close to 700-800 feet of line it took out after that. It came on a downrigger, and yeah, it ran, and we caught quite a few fish this day, and we were only out for probably like 2 hours because you can tell it's really foggy.
Yep.
And it was getting kind of dangerous. I had a few charter boats that got really close to me that day, and then I basically told him, it was an afternoon, I basically told him, I said, I think we should get off the lake before it gets dark, because if this fog doesn't let up, like, it's just dangerous being out there.
Well, and you don't have radar and that kind of stuff in a smaller boat like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I was
Did it make multiple runs, or did
it did? Yeah, it took me a long time to reel this fish on. I don't really exactly remember how long, but I really chopped it up in the video. It took quite a while.
Because nobody wants to watch 40 minutes of you, the reel going the other way.
Right, exactly. And when that's happening, when you're fighting that fish, you got to come up with ways to keep the audience like entertained. Otherwise, you do have to cut a lot of that footage out, you know?
Yep.
So keeping people entertained while you're fighting that fish is kind of important to view duration. But yeah, that thing was an absolute tank. And
have you ever done that, Matt? This Great Lakes stuff?
Yeah, I did it with Rasmussen. One of the second guided life we ever filmed was with Adam Rasmussen.
We should, well, if the fishing's any good this year, we should try.
Yeah, we definitely got to film it. I think a Proficient would be an awesome one, and that's kind of like what him and I talked about. I was going to say to you, I think this would look even better on the fixed platform.
I agree.
You know, on the app, you can go on the app and all that.
Has that been discussed? No. So the reason I asked about multiple runs, biggest one I ever caught was 30 pounds. It was 30.5. Oh, wow. It was during one of the Two Rivers salmon tournaments.
Okay.
And we were out of Manitowoc, actually, where the ferry goes through.
Yep.
It took about 800 feet of line out the first time.
Really?
Just screaming. Got it back up to the boat. You could, because the water's gin out there. If you've never been in Lake Michigan, you could see like 80 feet down. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Got it to the point where you could see it coming up. And as soon as it saw the boat, took another 800-foot run. Holy jeez.
Right.
That's the best feeling, though.
And I was fishing with my dad. The car ferry was coming through because it was in the fog. Because you fish in the fog a lot on Lake Michigan. It's
just something that happens.
You get used to it actually after a while.
Yep.
Fishing's usually pretty good too because it cuts the light penetration down.
Got ya.
Second, I mean, if car ferry's honking its horn at us because we were right in the line, it was bad. But we ended up getting the fish in, and it was in the lead up until like the last hour of whatever derby there was, and then some guy brought a 31-pounder in and beat me.
That always happens, right?
Yeah.
Like right when you think you got it, somebody.
But it was the only one over 30 pounds I've ever caught. It was 30.5.
What do you do when that car ferry's coming through? Like,
you get out of the way.
I was just gonna say,
yeah, but you can't go too fast within.
No, you don't. You just have to turn as steep as an angle as you can. Hopefully you don't cross all your lines because that can be a major cluster.
Yeah.
Like if you ever get wire downriggers crossed, it makes any walleye guy's ever done with crossing planer boards seem like a cakewalk.
Right.
You can start getting wires crossed, it's bad, like really super bad. Because now you're dealing with, like you cross a planer board, which I'm sure you've done, I've done.
Yeah, plenty of
You're
time.
dealing with monofilament, you can cut lines, all that's easy, right? You got 200-pound cable with a 12-pound weight on it.
Yeah.
Right? You start getting stuff like that crossed and tangled. Now you're talking about losing fingers because like you can cut it, but now it's bad. It's a very dangerous situation.
Have a pair of gloves with you in the boat.
Oh, 100%.
Well, you gotta have
that, and you gotta watch out for the fishing nets. That can get dangerous in a hurry.
Yes.
Oh, like the
they always tell you to have a good pair of clippers with you in case you ever do get your downriggers caught in a net out there, is it will sink your boat if you're not careful.
No crap.
Oh yeah.
We ran into a weather balloon one time out there.
Really?
We ran through it was a weather balloon that came down. I don't know if it was supposed to. I have no idea. We didn't know what it was at the time. It was just big plasticky, almost like a parachute kind of thing. Mm-hmm. We ended up going almost right through it. It was a mess. We had crap on everything.
No, we had this a lot down by us the last couple of years, like birthday balloons floating. You ever see any of those?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like an Easter egg out on Lake Michigan. Like you'll just be out trolling and then randomly you'll see a birthday balloon.
What are those, Andy? What are those balloons made out of? Is it like not nylon? What's the word? Nylar or something like that? It's like people get mad about those balloons.
Yeah, and we see them. I mean, at least every other time we're out there, you see one of these balloons floating in the water. Yeah. It's like where are these balloons coming from?
Well, because for a while there, it was kind of Yeah, it's a state. Okay, so Bob's talking about they have your wire cutters with it, but for a while there, it was kind of a trend to like let all these balloons go for memorials or whatever like that, and they are bad for the environment. They like never break down.
Never.
Yeah, like, it's like if they do, it takes forever.
Really?
There's rubber, latex.
Bob says they're mylar.
Mylar, that's the word I was looking for.
Yep. Yeah. So like if we ever see one when we're out there, we try to change our course a little bit to try and pick them up. But
did you know that? I didn't know that. That's a state law to have wire cutters immediately accessible.
I didn't actually know it was a state law.
I didn't know it was a state law. I mean, it's common sense.
Yeah.
The other thing Cody said that's super important is have a good pair of like leather gloves or some kind of heavy duty glove because that stuff will destroy you.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's wire under a ton of tension.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like leather gloves or some kind of really heavy duty gloves is a must. And I personally, for me, eye protection, because, I mean, granted, if I'm fishing, you got sunglasses on, but a lot of times you're out there at 3:30 in the morning, you don't think about your eyes.
Yep.
But you start having wire flying around or whatever, you only get, they can replace a lot of stuff. They can't replace your eyes.
Well, even hooks.
Yeah.
Like when you're going down to net fish, sometimes those hooks come flying out at Mach 90, It's
yes.
If you don't have a pair of safety glasses or sunglasses on, like you're potentially risking that going in your eyeball, But
okay. That's good to know, Bob. I didn't know. I mean, it's common sense. It's good to know it's a law, but
yeah, I mean, I would suggest if you're going out on the Great Lakes to have a toolkit with you with,
I mean, even walleye fishing though, I always had wire cutters and stuff because 100%. You never know what you're going to run into.
I'm just confused about the part that somebody actually sank their boat.
So think about this. You've got a 10 to 15 pound weight, depending on the actual downrigger weight itself, attached to 200 pounds like wire.
Yeah.
That is up into a reel on your boat that is bolted to the gunnels of your boat.
Right.
So if that gets snagged on something and you can't stop it, go in reverse, whatever, and that gets tight.
Yeah.
You're basically just pulling the back of your boat.
I mean, literally, it's like an anchor in the back of the boat. It's just coming back.
It's like fighting Jaws.
You're not breaking that. You're not breaking the cable.
No.
Yeah. Down you go.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's for sure.
That's why filming that would be even not like that situation, but just like the day-to-day stuff. And that's obviously a reason why some of those salmon videos for you do so well, because what's that show we always referred to as salmon fishing when we were gonna head-to-head them. Oh, God damn it.
Deadliest Catch?
Yeah, something like that.
Wicked Tuna?
Wicked Tuna.
Oh,
shows.
That's a good show.
See, the thing about the salmon fishing, like I guided for a long time when I was a lot younger. And I guided walleyes, inland lake stuff, and then I did the charter fishing stuff. And the inland lake stuff was fine, but a lot of people do that kind of fishing, right?
Yeah.
They might not catch as big of walleyes as you catch, and that's why they hire you to go try to figure out these bigger fish. But they'll fish walleyes from shore, they perch fish, they bluegill fish. They use a lot of that same the same tackle. But when you get them out on the big lake, it's almost always their personal best. It's almost always something they've never experienced before.
Yeah.
Fish taking line out, rainbow trout jumping 6 feet out of the water, all the chaos, right?
Yep.
And I always had more fun on the chartering side versus the guiding side because of all of that, right? It wasn't like, oh, I've caught these fish before. It was like, oh my God, look at this thing. Right. Look at the teeth of this thing,
Yeah.
Because they're actually ocean fish.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, they're ocean fish. I mean, it's a stocked fishery, and it's just one of those unique things that people, like, they watch on YouTube, they watch maybe on TV, and they're like, I really want to do that. I mean, I would say that my salmon content has outdone most of my walleye content that I posted last year, just because it's a popular.
It's just different.
It's
people.
yeah.
I mean, look at it, right? Like
people
catch 20-inch walleyes.
Yep.
Or a 4-pound bass.
Yep.
Nobody sees 20-pound kings.
And I get a lot of comments on my videos, and people saying like, you can catch salmon in Lake Michigan.
Yeah, they just have no idea.
It's like, yeah.
So let me ask you this: how many years have you been guiding or chartering?
I actually just started last year.
Okay. Do you have like a super, like, what's the weirdest thing last year that anybody said to you or
Good question.
I got two things that are both going to freak you out.
I mean, it wasn't really anything anybody brought. I mean, I didn't really have any weird things happen. I had some like unique fishing things happen. I mean, one of the trips we were on, we were walleye fishing on Green Bay, and one of my clients was cranking in a fish, and it was probably like a smaller 17, 18-inch walleye or whatever. And he had it about halfway up to the boat, and all of a sudden it just started taking off. Like this just started peeling line, and I'm like, whoa,
Is he getting chased?
something happened. I said, you know, he probably had like a muskie
Yep,
grab it or something.
That's what my guess would be.
And yeah, so he's cranking it in, and then sure shit, we get it up to the boat, and this walleye is just shredded from top to bottom. I mean, there's like basically tooth marks
Yep.
all the way up and down this thing. The dorsal fin's all messed up, and I'm
That's
like, well, we're
awesome.
keeping it. I mean, it was like a 17, 18-inch fish, but it was just shredded because this muskie just took it and just started running with it. So that was one of the cool experiences that I had last year
That's
guiding. It was pretty neat.
Two of the craziest things I've ever had guiding or chartering. We had a guy show up one day with an entire basket full of shrimp because he must have ocean fished before.
Yep.
And he came here thinking we were going to go like you do in the ocean.
Oh, so he was going to use it as bait.
Oh, he brought his bait.
Oh,
I was like,
so
what a
you're-
nice guy. He's bringing these
No,
shrimp.
not to eat. This was live shrimp.
Okay, all
He
right.
brought the shrimp. We were going to go salmon fish with the shrimp. That was
That's
number
funny.
one. Then number two, dead serious. Guy asked us when the lake was made. I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, this lake's man-made, right? I'm like, it's 1,000 feet deep, dude.
Everything's
Like,
man-made.
No, right.
Yeah,
but
right.
I mean, like,
Tell him this is a great lake.
well, no, but that's what I told him. I'm like, where did they put the dirt?
Yeah, right.
Like,
That's
there'd
what
be,
formed Wisconsin.
like there'd be mountains if you had
Yeah,
a man-made
yeah.
Lake Michigan.
Oh, it would be like a canyon. I mean, Lake Michigan, I believe, is what, 950
1,000 feet deep. Yeah, I think it hits 1,000 feet,
Yeah.
depending on water
Right,
levels.
yeah,
or
Right.
water
whatever.
levels.
So I mean,
Yeah, out in the
that's a
middle.
lot of dirt to move.
Because we used to, so back in the day, the rainbows used to be way offshore. Maybe they still are, but nobody
Yep.
goes out there because of fuel prices.
Right, yeah.
We'd be running 25, 30 miles offshore, and I saw 1,000 feet one time.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's
Yeah, I think the
crazy.
deepest I've ever seen in my boat was about 450.
Okay. Yeah, and you can get that relatively close to shore
You can.
because it really
Couple.
flattens out how the drop off is, I guess, once you get out there.
Yeah.
And out of Manitowoc, it's a lot different. I mean, it takes a couple of miles
Yeah.
before you actually really start to drop off because Manitowoc, Two Rivers area, there,
Yes,
Sheboygan,
very
it's really
flat, yep.
flat.
It's
So-
like it's eerie to be on the ice over 100 feet of water. You know, when we went white fishing, it's like all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm in 100
Well, and the
feet.
crazy thing is, you're out there, you're in 1,000 feet of water, 900 whatever feet of water, and you're fishing 15 feet down.
Yeah.
Because the water's so cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's out there on the surface. They're
Yep.
just eating bugs or whatever. You're chasing water slick lines and temperature breaks.
Now think about being on the ocean, like when you're like a couple thousand feet down.
Man, that would be your. I have done some deep sea fishing, but
talking
I've
about
never
fathoms.
been out that deep.
Never been, yeah. I don't know if I have either that
It's-
I've known of.
I would love to start going off that. I love that offshore. You can't see anything. You're just in the middle of wherever.
Yeah.
Problem is fuel prices have just stopped a lot of people from doing that because you know, like my dad's got a 43. If we started running out there, you're taking up
Yeah.
thousands of
It's-
dollars in fuel
Yeah, it's
to do
not-
what, right?
For
You're
one,
catching,
for a
you're
fish.
catching a few fish. It's just hard to justify that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not too bad in a walleye boat. That's kind of what I've noticed just fishing out of my walleye boat. It's a lot quicker to get out there.
Oh, 100%.
And then
yeah.
you don't burn as much gas, obviously. I mean,
Just
you
a
could.
little riskier, right? It's
Right.
got to be way more conscious
Yeah.
of the weather.
Yes,
The weather
yep.
changes
You got to really
quick.
know what you're doing. You got to watch the weather, but yeah, if you're careful, I mean, you can put some miles on Lake Michigan, even Green Bay. Like there's days where 30, 40 plus miles is that's just a thing. I mean, that's what we do.
Do you find yourself following any of those online like water temperature maps
Man,
and stuff?
I try to look at them, but how often does that change? I mean, you get a little bit of wind, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
boom, that water.
well, you're trying to find a needle in a haystack sometimes, but
Yeah.
if you can find it.
If you can find it, you can have yourself a hell of a day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you currently booking trips for this kind of stuff right now?
Yeah, I actually just finished the website. I built a website all on my own.
Nice.
Yeah. csfishing.com. You can book a salmon trip. You can book a walleye trip.
Very cool.
Get you booked up. But yeah, it's I'm excited for this year. Last year I did not run salmon trips. I only did walleye trips, and then this year I decided to, go into the salmon fishing and see what I can do.
There
so
it is right there. Check
Yeah.
you out. Look at that.
yeah, and I would say that the YouTube thing really pushed me into the salmon fishing this year, just because I had so many people ask, like,
I was gonna say it's
do you
hard
do
not
guided-
to. It's hard not to follow
right.
the views, right?
Yeah.
Like people are watching this stuff. Like,
Yep.
why wouldn't I do more
And
of it?
people are asking, like, do you do guided salmon trips? Unfortunately, last year I had to tell them no. I didn't have my sport trolling license last year, so I couldn't target salmon. But it made me think. I'm like, well, if people really want to do this, like, I've had no
When
problem
did you get your
taking it.
captain's license?
I got my captain's license two Octobers ago now,
Nice.
I think. So the first year I had it, I actually didn't do anything with it, and then last year was my first full
Very
year
nice.
actually running guided walleye trips on Green Bay. So
So we mentioned that this is kind of the full-time gig now, but you
Yeah.
also work for Tideweed. How did that come about with like being, what'd you say, your marketing specialist?
Marketing specialist, yeah. That just that came about just through an email basically with a couple of people, and they got me into the right hands basically, and they were looking for somebody to run all of their social media platforms, basically be a marketing specialist for them, do the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and I'm like, well, hell, I can handle that.
The TikTok for that channel is pretty big. Like
Yeah.
you do a really nice job with
I
that
I
stuff.
started that TikTok from ground zero. So I
really?
grew that over the course of basically a year and a half now, and I was never like a really big fan of TikTok, but it's so organic and you can grow so quickly on there that it's just one of those things that you got to do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be relevant, you almost have to have a TikTok account and post something on there to
Until they shut it down.
to gain any exposure
Yeah,
until they shut it
until-
down, which I thought they were going to shut it down. What was it, like a year ago now?
Well, they're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like right now, the push is to ban it from all government devices. That's
Yeah.
the push right now.
Right.
Whether
And
or not they'll get, who knows?
I'm not super sad about that because there's
Something
so many.
Facebook or Instagram, something they'll take over.
Well, Instagram, Facebook, and even YouTube have kind of already like
all the shorts and
yeah,
stuff.
they started
yeah.
doing the same basically platform that TikTok is doing with the shorts, and Instagram's got Reels, and then
Yep.
Facebook is basically Instagram.
Yep.
But yeah, you can post all of those short films on those platforms now too. So it's TikTok's slowly becoming irrelevant, but I feel like you still got a very good chance to grow organically on that platform just because it's still kind of
I
new.
find myself burnt. I wonder how it's gonna like cycle, right? Because like everything was YouTube, and then TikTok came out, and you're kind of flipping through that, and I'm just kind of like,
What's
I don't
next?
even go on TikTok anymore because I'm kind of burned out with just how many videos I can watch in 5 seconds or
Yep.
whatever. Now I'm kind of going back to like, I just want to sit here and watch something, like to
Yeah.
show me something. So kind of going back to like the fixed platform or whatever, where you're like, just give me 15 minutes of something. I don't want to go that fast anymore. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just because I'm old. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
Older.
Well, I find like even with YouTube now, I've gotten a little burnt out. Like, well, for me, I watch a lot of hunting content, so like the seasons are over with, so there's not a whole lot of new hunting content coming out. And the ice fishing stuff, I can only watch ice fishing videos unless they're Cody's for like
Yeah.
so long.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Yeah,
Nice
before,
job. Nice
before
work.
yeah,
He's a trained professional.
yeah, you see how I do that. But then otherwise, like now it's like, but like one thing that I've been kind of getting into lately, and I'm not a farmer by any means, but some of these farming videos that are on that platform, like I'm wearing my Farm Focus shirt right now, is like,
What is Farm Focus?
so this is potentially another
Oh, nice.
group of people that are coming to the
You're
fixed
getting
platform.
swag just by making phone calls now?
Well, so I met these gentlemen, are the owners of Farm Focus. I did a Nebraska turkey hunt last year.
Nice.
With Chasing the Dream TV, which is another show that's going to hopefully be on Fixed TV shortly. But anyways, it's a clothing brand, and
Okay.
they made clothing for some of these influencers in the farming industry.
Okay.
They produce some of the clothing for that kind of stuff. So anyways, I was out there. We
Well,
did a podcast with them. I was on their podcast with them talking about the guided life, and then they're just really great people. So I think it's just another It's a podcast. They do a great job with
That's cool.
it. It's just another platform.
I think that's an awesome little deal because that's an industry that's under attack all the time
Oh man.
by the environmentalists and all this other stuff that
You
don't
talk about
understand
videos
that.
that have success.
Oh, well,
Farming
but that's
videos.
and I think it's huge that industry is getting into the
Yes.
social media world because there's so many people that think their food comes from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Honestly, they do.
They really do.
Like, my food comes from the grocery store. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they have no idea what goes into it because
Yep.
they weren't, we live in a rural area for the most part. So we see it, right? Like we've been touched by it in one form or fashion or whatever, but you can't blame somebody that grows up in a city that just doesn't see it ever. Like they
Right.
don't know,
Yeah.
but they have no idea what goes into this. And they think they're a bunch of redneck hillbillies. And in reality, like some of the smartest people I personally know are farmers.
Oh yes.
Like the things that they need to understand between chemistry and all the digital stuff now, because farming is complete, very competitive
Yep.
digitally. Tractors and the GPS stuff and plotting, and like I got a really good friend of mine who was just showing me how they put drain tile in a field. I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not dumb. There's no such thing as a dumb farmer. It's not a thing.
Well, they're not making more.
maybe they are, but they're not surviving.
Right. They're not making more farmland.
Oh,
so
right.
you got to get super smart on how you're going to make your
that's a
acreage
whole
work.
show. Like somebody should do a show about farmers and just their land and how they fight,
I'll make
how
it
they
happen.
fight back for their land. because that's everything, right?
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know you're trying to get something in. Go ahead.
Well, it's just like even some of that, like the equipment that they buy, like the
Oh my God,
tractors and stuff,
millions
it's
of dollars
so
of stuff.
complex nowadays. And you look at the price tag on some of that stuff.
Millions.
Oh my God.
Millions.
Well,
Multi-millions.
and think about that. One day you have to wake up and decide: do I want to sell this land for millions
Yep.
to a developer?
Yep.
Or do I want to gamble? Because my best friend is this egg salesman. He's been in the farming world his whole
he probably
entire
knows
life.
my friend.
Yeah, he probably does. But he's like, farming is gambling because every year you're gambling. Is my yield going to be enough? Am I
Yep.
going to have enough that I make off of my crops to cover all my expenses? Fertilizers through the roof. You know, the prices of milk, and if you're a dairy farmer or if you're a cash
Yeah, it's
cropper,
crazy.
all that stuff is just so like up and down like this that you don't know year to year if you're going to be able to pay your bills.
Right. Yeah.
So I'll line something up for that.
I'm glad that's kind of there's the younger generations now trying to shed some light on
Yep.
what they go through, because if you listen to the political side of things, right, it's nothing but it's nothing but a stain on the country, and it's the
Right.
exact opposite.
This
literally
building,
the exact
this
opposite
country
of that.
was like built a lot off of farming, and like for us being rural, when farmers started leaving like our county, you know, you see the work ethic left with it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a big thing. Like myself, you did this, and maybe you did this. Growing up through high school, what did you do in the summertime? You helped farmers. You did hay. You did
Yep.
all that stuff. Milked, whatever you had
cows.
to do.
Yep.
Because they were the flourishing businesses at
Well,
that time.
you and I've talked about that, the physical strength part.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot of kids that are like big and strong, but they don't have any stamina to work all day, right?
There's two types of muscles. There's gym muscles and there's working muscles.
Yep.
And it is. You can have
Big difference.
the biggest, bulkiest dude in the world. And
Try to get that through to my kid.
yeah, but then go
Big
out and
difference.
pick stones for
Yep.
8 hours.
That's what my dad always told me. He's like, there's farm strong and there's gym strong.
100%.
It is truly a
Yeah.
thing.
But
A lot of times for our football team, kids wouldn't be at practice one day because we got a small window to get hay up and we have to get it done.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
coach.
yep, I think growing up, I think everybody should work on a farm.
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Brillion, Wisconsin.
And that's where you still reside?
Yep, I still
Okay.
reside there. In high school, I did milk cows. I mean, it gives you a better look, I guess, into what farmers do
A
and
big appreciation.
and work life in general. Like it teaches you got to get up early to milk cows. I mean, we milked twice a day, so I'd get up before school, even go milk cows, and then maybe get a quick shower in before heading to school. Otherwise, just go straight to school from the farm. And yeah, you smelled like shit, but
Yeah.
you go through classes, everybody looks at you. Maybe during one of your study halls, you run down to the gym and take a shower. But
Right.
it was you made money. And it was fun. I enjoyed milking cows.
Well, and farmers in the day were the ones that had everything that was awesome. Like most of the farmers had snowmobiles and ATVs
Oh, yeah.
because that was they not only did they use it for farming, but they were doing well at the time.
Well, on the snowmobile wise, they had all winter off.
Yep.
Not off, I mean,
Well,
cows or
right.
whatever, but they did not nearly as busy it was in the fall when they were harvesting.
Yeah, I really wish there would be more emphasis, and maybe this YouTube push is going to help bring that emphasis, make it cool again to
Well,
be
even
a
the
farmer.
farm simulator video games now, I've seen on TikTok, there's a guy that
yeah.
he's
Yeah,
building this farm and he's got these huge people following, just
Yep.
watching him like video game farm.
Yep.
My brother was really big into that game, that farming simulator.
Yeah.
He loved it.
Yeah. So, all right. So I got some questions. I like to ask some fun questions. So we talked about like your number one species of fish for would probably be walleye, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Bucket list trip, let's say fishing wise, what would it be and why?
I really would like to go up to Alaska. That's one place I haven't been yet for like halibut.
Okay.
It looks insanely fun to me. I mean, you're doing like a vertical jigging type of technique right over the side of the boat, and those fish just look like they fight.
And they're delicious.
Yeah,
And they're
I've never
super
had. I've
delicious.
actually had it once, but I don't know how old it was. Obviously, it wasn't fresh. I want to eat some halibut that I freshly caught.
Yep.
From the ocean, and Alaska is just one of those trips that I think is definitely on the bucket list to do.
How rooted in Wisconsin
Beautiful.
are you?
I mean, I'm pretty rooted here. I don't think I could leave. Like, it'd be tough for me to move somewhere.
You should put that in writing before you go to Alaska. I'm serious. I've been there. I've been to Alaska 7 or 8 times.
It's beautiful, huh?
It's way better than you
the
can
last
ever
frontier,
imagine.
right?
Do they have
The problem is
do
for
they have
guys like
walleyes?
us that love to hunt and fish. Do you hunt at all?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so for
Yep.
guys that love to hunt and fish, the first time I went there, I looked at she was my girlfriend, now my wife, and I'm like, do we really have to go home?
Right.
Like, I didn't want to leave.
Oh,
and if
man.
I wasn't starting a real shot and I had son at home, whatever, I don't think I would have came back.
Yep.
I
Really?
might have just sold all my shit and just been there right now.
So
It was amazing. And I was there in March.
Do they have walleyes there?
No.
well, they have other versions
But they
of
have
walleye.
moose.
Moose,
They have
caribou,
moose.
and
They have
No, but like, and you can
deer
hunt
and-
anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the coolest place on earth if for an outdoorsman. It's
Right.
Yeah.
amazing. And like I said, I've only been there in March. The most desolate crap hole time of year to be there. And I was in love with the place.
So
what kind of temperatures did you have in March?
Cold as
Sorry.
shit.
yeah.
Cold.
Yeah, well, so I was up there filming the Iditarod. So my dad's company, we were filming the Iditarod or whatever. We're actually, sidebar to Fixed TV, we're actually taking all those Iditarod videos and putting them on Fixed TV.
So we could critique Brian's film.
So we can critique my
Oh.
editing.
Oh,
Nice.
you edit them as well?
Yeah.
Oh,
So my background's a lot very similar to
Okay,
yours.
yeah.
I've always been like, we're doing the Fixed TV platform stuff now, but I've always been into the media stuff. I've never
Yeah.
been really good at it, but I've
Yeah.
always kind of
Yep.
known it was the thing to
So
be.
you really appreciate the time it takes to put in
Yes.
editing.
Oh, yeah.
video.
Well, the one video is an hour long.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
mean,
so it took you some time
A
then.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're putting those up on there because why not? They're kind of
Right.
cool.
Yep.
Yep.
And the Iditarod's awesome. But I mean, I saw minus 60 real temp on
Oh.
a thermometer.
Wow.
Now it's a dry cold.
Yeah.
Minus 60, yeah. Whatever.
that's
you know,
cold.
nothing,
Not
yeah, being from
deal.
Wisconsin, minus
But yeah,
60.
Alaska's awesome.
So my
Yeah.
son's girlfriend, they have a relative that lives in Alaska, and as a graduation present, he graduated last year. He's getting to go to Alaska this year,
Andy, check your phone.
and he's 19. And I'm not afraid that's going to happen. I almost hope that happens for him. Get out there and live. I've always told like some of my nieces, my nephews, and all that stuff. Like the best thing that ever worked for me was I got some internships. Go. Get the hell out of Wisconsin. Go live someplace else for a year, 2 years, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
And then you'll appreciate coming back here.
right.
You know, but I hope he has a great time. They're going to do some salmon fishing and all that kind of
Check
stuff.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So, bucket list hunt trip, then what would it be and why?
Bucket list hunting trip. I mean, I guess I did a lot more fishing growing up, so I don't know if I really have one. I mean, I guess if I had to choose, it'd be somewhere up in Canada. I'd like to.
Black Bear, something like that,
I would just like to go to Canada in general. I've never been up there.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're definitely more of a fisherman than a hunter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I'd love to harvest a giant whitetail sometime, and I feel like Canada, you have that opportunity. Obviously, there's some states here in the U.S. like Iowa and stuff like that. Even out west for elk and stuff like that. But I've been out to Colorado already. I've shot an elk. I think the next species I would say on my bucket list probably would be a mule deer out there.
Yep.
While I was out there elk hunting, I seen a lot of nice mule deer that I wish I would have been able to shoot, but I didn't have a tag.
Where'd you go?
We were in Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
I've been there. That's where I shot my first elk.
Beautiful area.
Oh, it's awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, the little town there is absolutely beautiful, and then you just basically just get right outside of the town, and you're in the mountains. So that was a really neat trip. I ended up harvesting a 5x6 when I was out there.
Awesome.
So
Gun
pretty
or
neat.
bow?
What's that?
Gun or bow did you shoot it with?
I shot that with a gun. It was opening rifle season.
Nice.
So now, yeah, I would like to get one with the bow now. Obviously, that's a lot more tricky, and yeah, I would say probably Canada though for the bucket list destination.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Okay, this is one of my favorite questions. Okay, if you could fish with one iconic person, celebrity, influential person in your life, who would it be and why?
Oh man, I mean, if I had to choose, I would probably choose Corey Springle.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
guy's
a real popular answer that we
that guy's an absolute stick, and I feel like I could definitely learn a lot from him just being in the boat with him for a day.
Yep.
And I've always thought about maybe just fishing the NWT as a co-angler and praying that I pull him, to fish with. But yeah, I would say if I had to choose, it'd probably be Corey Springle. Just he's here, he's
Guarantee
local.
you would learn a lot, I'm sure.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
he's
Dude's
a
good.
walleye stick, and that's my favorite fish to target. So I'd choose him.
That's another good answer. So okay, here's one of my things, right? As a guy who like hosts show, and I'm not the YouTube guy like you are. Why is it what up guys, hey guys? Why is that the opening for majority of the YouTube videos?
I feel like it's like habit, you know, and I try to get out of that. I try to get out of the, hey guys, what's up? Or hey guys, welcome back. You know, I'm trying to get out of that because I don't want to seem like repetitive. I don't want to be monotonous basically on my channel. I like what I'm going to start to do is really try to focus on starting the video with like a catch with, you know, some sick B-roll, and then roll kind of just right into the video rather than doing, you know, the same intro in every video. Yes. Like the exact same way, because it gets boring. You know, somebody clicks on it and the first thing they hear is, hey guys, what's going on?
Yep. It's every YouTube video.
It's hard though, like coming up with some catchy is just
it is really tough. And that's why just getting away from it completely, like don't even do that. You know, just roll it in with some B-roll, and then tell the people what you're doing today. Tell them what you're going to catch, and just get right into it. You know, enough with the, you know, the BS, the talking and all the beginning stuff. I mean, that's when people click off. People don't want to watch that. They're going to skip through it anyways. All they want to see is you catching fish.
You the action.
So I got a small favor to ask. I've been trying to bring this back ever since I started hosting stuff.
Okay. Yep.
And it's probably maybe too old for you, but the what up? Do you remember like the Bud Light?
Just when he said that, I almost just said it. I was like, what's that?
See?
That's a scary movie thing too, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a scary movie thing. So I've been trying to bring it back. I'll even greet customers at the Real Shot with what up.
So I called him this morning to let me in, and he answers, and the first thing he says is, what's up?
Yep.
I'm like,
dude,
what's going on?
Those were some of the best marketing commercials
You're also
ever.
showing your age, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But our generation gets that.
Yes.
Because my buddies and I, that's how we answer the phone all the time.
Yeah.
Christ, I texted half the time.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Because we were just talking about that with Scott the other day, like the frogs. Do you guys remember, Brian? I know you remember the frogs, Bud, Wise, those were some of the best commercials.
They were, but that's not nearly as good as the.
No, the What's Up was the best.
Oh, yeah.
So could you do me a favor in one of your upcoming videos? Give me the What's Up and maybe just a small shout out.
Yeah.
The problem is you gotta, but in order to do it right, you gotta pay homage. You gotta go back on YouTube, watch the commercial.
Okay.
Yep.
And understand it, because it's not What's Up.
Yep.
It's What's Up.
Yeah, you gotta say it right.
Yeah, I can do. Yeah.
Help me bring it back.
I got a trip coming up this weekend. I'm not gonna say where I'm going or what it is. I'm excited though. We're gonna catch some big fish. But I'll incorporate that in there somewhere for you, just for you, Matt.
See, even Kyle Carpenter, the frogs, man. Those are some of the best marketing commercials ever. The Bud Light.
Agreed.
I'm gonna have to look them up.
The What's Up ones.
The only time I've seen it is on the Scary Movie.
Oh, yeah. You got to go back and watch the original Bud Light, or was it Bud Light or Budweiser? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But help me out.
Budweiser.
Budweiser. Yeah, Andy said Budweiser.
Does Busch Light have anything like that? Yeah.
No.
They got farmer
so
cans.
you guys don't drink Busch Light?
Oh, that's all I drink. Well, if I drink beer, I'm not a big beer drinker.
Yeah, I'm not a beer drinker as much.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
me neither.
Once you get older, you start feeling not as good drinking beer.
Yes,
trust me. Yeah, I feel that already.
You kind of migrate into like more of the brown liquors and the.
It's all about the whiskey.
What did he say?
All about the whiskey.
Oh, that's what Andy said.
Yep. Yeah, I don't. I only
that
drink
stuff
beer
is
if
dangerous.
I have to.
Whiskey's dangerous.
You get in fights when you drink whiskeys.
I try not to anymore.
Big whiskey shots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was those are a couple of my questions. Like you were saying though, I watched it and it's like, hey guys, we're trying to go through YouTube right now to look for more content creators. And it is like when you go through some of these videos, it's the same thing.
Well, the problem is people
how come
struggle
ladies
to be
don't get
original,
offended?
right? Like being original is hard.
Yeah.
It is.
It
is. There. I mean, and when you try to, it's probably been done before, especially on YouTube. Like with the fishing industry, it's so flooded. There's so many people making videos, and there has been now for years.
It's so flooded.
It's really tough to try and find something that nobody's done before.
Yes.
You know, even like with ice fishing content, it's like, what can I do differently that people are going to click on that nobody's done before? And it's almost impossible to come up with something. You know,
there's 2.3 billion users on YouTube. So to make something unique with that many users,
right?
Yeah,
that's a tough task.
2.3 billion.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a big number, man.
That's a huge million. I mean, and obviously most of that isn't related to fishing, but
Yep.
there are a lot of creators that are doing
Oh, yeah.
fishing videos, and
Very saturated.
Yeah.
Almost every market is very saturated.
Well, and
Yeah.
so this is going to lead into my next question here. So, like, what is your biggest frustration with YouTube as of right now?
wow, we're doing some marketing analysis
Yeah.
while we're doing a podcast.
Well, this is the guy that lives and breathes it
yeah,
daily.
I like it. I
now.
like it. I'm impressed, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my biggest frustration is just view duration, just getting people to watch your video all the way to the end. I've been pretty blessed with YouTube the last year here. They've been recommending a lot of my stuff, so a lot of my videos pop up on other popular videos on YouTube. It pops up in the recommended section, but
But that's a good and bad, right?
Right.
That's also why your video durations aren't.
Yep,
as
and you
good.
get to see all the analytics there. So I mean, you get to see your click through rate on like how many people are actually clicking on that video because of the thumbnail. And honestly, when your videos are getting recommended, the title and the thumbnail mean everything to getting people to click on that video. And if it's not titled right, you don't have like a cool enough looking thumbnail, and nobody's gonna click on it. It's gonna show up there, but nobody's gonna click on it. So I've been seeing some videos that have been doing, really well, mainly like electronic videos and videos where I'm teaching you something. Those have always done really well because of the title,
Right.
not necessarily the thumbnail, but like how to use Garmin LiveScope. Like that video is going to do fairly well because people want to learn how to use LiveScope. Whereas catching bluegills on the Lake Winnebago system with a bluegill, I mean, you're holding up a bluegill, like not too many people are going to click on that.
Well,
I've
see, and
noticed.
that's why I love what we're trying to do with this because I'm not trying to compete with YouTube. That's idiotic. It's like
2.3 billion.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compete with YouTube, but I want to try to build a place where people that really want to watch content, right? Like,
Yep.
like if you're really into Yellowstone and you want to watch the background of, the 1983 or the 1883 show or the 1923 show, you're going to go watch Paramount Plus, right? Like,
Yeah.
I really I'm not trying to compete with YouTube with this, but really giving a platform where you can get more in depth with stuff, and people are here for a reason because they want that more in depth content, right? They don't want to just, trying to get away from the whole like, oh, I'm scrolling, this video sucks, I'm going here, that whole thing, which is what YouTube is, and that's great. Let's let YouTube do that. But here where it's really more of that in-depth look into whatever it is that the creators are trying to promote or push across or help with their sponsors or whatever the case may be, because it's built more like a Netflix where it's meant to watch the full length movie.
Yeah.
Like nobody really goes on Netflix and jumps between 30 shows in a night. You watch one and then you maybe watch another one.
And from my understanding, this is affordable. I mean, what was it?
$5.99 a
$5.99
month.
a
It's
month.
cheap.
To get all of this content. I
Well,
mean,
and we're talking, how many people have you talked to now?
Oh God.
Hundreds? Like there's going to be a lot of content. Like we got Travis Manson on there, Smallmouth Crush. We just put some of that up there last night. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming on the pipeline. Maybe Cody's one of them. We'll see if we impressed him enough today or not. No, but like that's the whole thing. And like then there's a lot of stuff that's not fishing related that I think people don't quite understand yet, because I'm still trying to grow that. So we've got the Yule Goat show on there. We're talking to a lot of people in like the home industry, like that home decor stuff, and it's going to be way bigger than just the outdoors.
I like where you went with that, because I think that's one thing
I appreciate that. Thank you.
for creators. You don't have to live in your niche.
Well, I'm not trying to we didn't come to you and be like, you have to leave YouTube. That's suicide for us.
Yeah,
Right,
big
yeah.
time. suicide.
Right.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you can use YouTube to drive more subscriptions for you, you make more money here than you'll ever make on YouTube.
Yep.
If you do the math, which you're a smart guy, you probably did that.
We talked
Yep.
math,
You
yes.
see, because well, no, but like you can make as a content creator, right? It's all about dollars. That's why you do this, right?
Yeah.
That's everybody's trying to make it big. That's what you should be doing. That's the whole point. But if you can do it here, 300 subscribers, it would take you 30,000 on YouTube. Who cares about the big number?
Yep.
It's all about the dollars, right? It's about the margin dollar.
Yep.
It's not about how much do I make gross. It's what do I have at the end.
Yeah.
And if I can get 300 or 1,000 disciples that want to pay me to watch my stuff, those are going to be the guys that turn around and then come and buy stuff from your sponsors.
Yep.
Because they're going to believe you, right?
Yep.
Versus fighting that swamp, for lack of a better word, when everybody's pushing their other sponsors. Now, how do you get this one guy to believe you versus the Guggen Squad or whatever?
Well, what I meant by that too is like, let's say like Cody one day, you've had this idea, like, I really want to do this video, But on the flip side, you're a little scared because you're gonna get all that hate because
Yeah.
what even talking with Will who works here, I'm like, Will, how come you don't do other stuff on your fishing Instagram? He's a big Instagram guy. He does really well on there. He goes, because my page is all about fishing. I go, do you really think those people would stop following you if I did something else?
Because they still like you.
They like you.
Yeah.
But like now on here, you have that ability to try that. And you know what? And the other thing that was nice, we did this with head to head, is we had our private chat.
Yep.
It gets rid of the trash.
Gets rid of all the noise. Yep.
It gets rid of the trash.
The keyboard warriors.
Oh man.
Because those people aren't
warriors,
like.
yeah.
It was, dude.
Because they might be following you just to razz you.
Yep.
Well, that's fine.
Which is, yeah, I agree.
But it helps you out either way, right?
Well, my point is I'm saying you're not making money off of subscribers.
Correct, yeah.
You make money off of the views. So if you've got 1 million subscribers and you got 100 people that really follow you,
Yep.
what's the difference?
in my eyes, subscribers they don't really mean a whole lot on YouTube.
Because it's all about the views.
It's all about the views. And
Right.
honestly, my videos are getting more views than I have subscribers.
Yep.
Like if I look at some YouTube channels that have more subscribers than me, I'm pulling the same amount of views as they are. And I think that just comes down to, once again, my titles, my
For sure.
my
and that's
thumbnails.
the frustrating part is like they and they have to, right? I get it, but like for like my page, the Guided Life page, I only have like 322 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of them. But I have enough watch hours if I wanted to monetize, but I don't have enough subscribers to monetize.
Right.
But
Yep.
YouTube's still monetizing off of my stuff.
100%.
Yes, they are. Yep.
So and yeah, it's just like good. I hope that we eventually see Cody's stuff on our platform. I think it's going to be killer out there. And the biggest thing for us is I hope that there was any frustrations you have with that YouTube side, it allows you to have the freedom on the fix side where you don't have to worry about being handcuffed.
Yeah, 100%. And there's stuff that that I keep out of my my actual YouTube videos, and that is stuff that I could make exclusive, to the fixed TV platform that I think people would definitely, would want to pay for. And again, they're not just paying to watch me. Obviously, there's
everything.
There's everything on there.
And
so.
as this, it's more of a co-op. It's like a creator co-op more than it is its own separate platform.
Great word. I love that
It's
word.
a creator co-op,
That is
right?
a
Like
good word.
all the creators,
Marketing genius over there.
He's good.
all the creators are working together,
Yep.
right? Because they're going to get paid off of subscriptions and views, right?
Right.
So, and there's no cost to you. So what's the holdup? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
You can always say no, I'm done, I'm out, right?
Right. Yeah, you could.
Right? There's no cost. Whatever. Just saying.
So, I was great, man. Is there anything that we didn't cover quickly that you wanted to make sure we covered today?
No, man, I was just here for the fun. I just wanted to sit in and see what this was all
we'll
about.
have you back for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you have fun?
I had fun. This was actually
he went
enjoyable.
from like,
Yeah.
I gotta be so like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and
Isn't it? That's how it always ends up, though, right? I mean, that's
it should be that way. Like that's good on Brian and I too, to just make you feel relaxed while
Right.
you're in. It's intimidating. You walk in, you see cameras and all this stuff, and people get not so much you because this is the world you live in.
yeah.
But we've I'll never forget. I'm just gonna say this one story real quick. I'm sorry, but we had a guy come in and he's like, "I've been on camera hundreds of times. It's not a big deal at all." And he came in and he saw bright, shiny lights everywhere, and every other word was
Oh yeah.
And I just lobbed him a home run. And the home run was dropping. He was about to swing, and the ball hit the plate. And he's like, "I'm sorry, what did you say again?"
I remember that interview.
And then the
for
best
sure.
is the producer's in his ear because he's mic'd up like we are, and he goes, "Welcome to the big leagues, my friend."
No, I mean it is kind of intimidating when you walk into a studio like
Morning,
this. I mean, being a YouTuber like I am, everything's done by myself.
Right,
like
for sure.
I'm not surrounded by cameras and lights and and soundproofing and stuff. You're out in the boat holding a camera up to your face or a GoPro. I mean, that's the reality of YouTube. You come in and do something like this. Like this is completely out of my element, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I will say it was a really good time.
See, and to me, that's more intimidating, being out there in the real world and potentially getting judged by people because look at this guy trying to film all this stuff. This is like our little safe space in here, right?
Yep.
Everybody here knows that I'm a fool and all this kind of stuff. But when I try to go film stuff out in public, like the people to me that have the biggest cojones that time are the ones that walk into Walmart.
See, I've done that. I've done that. Like
you have a Walmart video on your page.
Yeah, if you go scroll way back again, like there's videos of my buddies and I would just walk in Walmart. We're holding cameras up, and unless you get kicked out,
Yeah,
that's
see,
what
I
we're
would
doing,
rather
man.
be here any day.
Yes,
than doing
100%. That's ballsy in my opinion.
I would
Yeah,
rather
I
be
mean-
in the studio live commentating stuff
Yes.
than doing
Yeah.
the Walmart thing for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things too. Like even on the Fox River in the spring, there's thousands of boats out there, and you're rolling by people, and you just got the camera, and you're sitting there talking. I mean, a lot of people know who you are, but then there's a lot of people just like, really,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah,
that
there's
guy?
that guy.
Yeah. Oh, night. Oh,
gonna
great!
blow
Another
his
guy
spot.
giving
This is
away
cool.
my spot.
They're
Oh,
giving-
look at
yeah,
this.
giving
jerk
away the
on
Fox
YouTube.
River.
Yeah, giving away
Giving
my.
away my spot. How dare anybody fish by the dam in De Pere?
As you're weaving in and of thousands of boats.
Oh yeah.
How dare you fish my spot?
This is my spot on a spot right here.
And there are guys that say that. I mean, there's some older gentlemen that will actually approach me and be like, where are you posting that? You're gonna blow this spot up. I'm like, I just gotta tell them, like, come on, really? Like this is a community whole. Everybody knows.
I just
about the
launched
Fox
that Voyager
River.
Park in De Pere. This
Yeah.
is not a secret.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, majority of the comments I get when I'm fishing out there are really positive. Like most of the people are like, hey, I watch you on YouTube.
Yeah.
I really like watching your content.
Most of the negative stuff's just jealousy anyway, because
Yeah.
they wish they could be doing this full time.
I mean,
know.
it used to bother me. It really used to bother me because
Same.
I used to be, a little more like you. Like I used to kind of worry about what people think. But after doing YouTube for so long, you get to the point where it's just like, I don't care.
Right.
Like you could sit here and say
Same.
you hate me a million times over, and I don't care.
Please continue to put negative comments
Yeah,
in
great.
my because it just helps my videos.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Honestly,
if you're gonna
don't care.
comment on my videos, you're gonna help push the algorithm for me, anyways. And
Yep.
it's all positive stuff.
The ones
so.
that I've gotten, I've always just said thanks for watching.
Yep.
all
Yeah.
you can
Thanks for
really say.
watching. I mean, sometimes if you get that smart guy, like, Live Scope's, killing the fisheries, or Live Scope is basically catching fish for you. Like some of those I have to comment back on.
Yeah,
Some of those I'm like, okay, really, dude? Like,
But they need some of that though too. I mean,
right. Yeah, you put them on blast,
It is
Yep.
reality. So as we wrap this up, tell everybody your socials. Tell everybody where they should go if they're interested in booking a trip.
Yeah, so my social media handles, I'm on Facebook. You can find me there at Cody S Fishing. You can find my Facebook page. If you go to Instagram, I just go by Cody Solberg on Instagram. And then, if you're looking to watch my YouTube videos, Cody S on YouTube, we watched it earlier. And then if you want to book a trip with me, csfishing.com is my new built website by me.
Nice.
And yeah, you can book a trip there. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. I would be like somebody to be a guinea pig on there and book a trip just to make sure it's working. So if you're watching and you do want to
Do you have like coupon codes on your website? You could drop one right now.
I don't have any set up yet. I don't know if I know how to do that. I might have to look into that.
Just saying.
That's a
Good
good
time to
idea.
just drop one right
with
now
with the
and-
marketing
Dude,
stuff. I
you-
mean,
No, just be like, hey, I got a one-time
I might
use.
have to
The
get
only
your phone
time anybody's
number.
going to know it is if they're watching this, right?
Right.
Well, you can make it right now, and then just
Yeah.
when you get home, just go add it.
I could. Yeah. I mean, Cody 15% off. How about
There
that?
you go. Booyah. That just happened. Exclusive.
Yeah, 100%.
There it is. All right, everybody. Hopefully you like this one. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in.
Nah, not a problem.
And I look
Thanks for
forward
having
to What's Up on one of Cody's next videos. That's,
up?
as long as I get the trots, this is for you. I'll
There
be
you
I'll
go.
be super stoked.
I'll do it for you.
we again,
You're such a fanboy. It's unbelievable.
me?
Yes.
I just it's all fun to me. It's all fun. So this is my job is awesome. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. Friday, have no clue what we're talking about, but Brian and I or whoever the hell will be sitting next to us will be here Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.